We were losing the war against the Darkspawn. Slowly, a few men at a time, but losing all the same. The warrior caste was dwindling with each generation as more able-bodied men perished in their prime without fathering sons. With each generation, more of the deep roads had to be sealed, more taigs lost forever. The kings of Orzammar watched and wondered how long it would be until nothing remained of our people but the memories. And then Paragon Caridin arose from the smith caste with a new weapon, golems, giant soldiers of living stone and metal. Each one was an army. With the Paragon's golems, we began to retake the lands we had lost. For a while, there was hope that victory, final victory, was coming. But at the height of the war, Paragon Caridin disappeared, and with him the means to make the golems. Several forays were made into the deep roads to search for the Paragon, but nothing was ever found. Over time, the golems we had were damaged beyond repair, and we began our slide once more toward extinction. Orzammar as a kingdom, as told by Shaper Zabor. Hello, and welcome to the 10th session of Victory, Vigilance, and Sacrifice. This tabletop role-playing game uses the Dragon Age video game setting, developed by BioWare, and the officially licensed tabletop role-playing game published by Green Ronin. Thanks also to Incompetech, aka Kevin MacLeod, for creating the wonderful music you'll hear tonight. Incompetech can be found through the Roll20 app, which we will also be using. As a content note, the Dragon Age setting is not a nice place. Content warnings persist across this chronicle for war violence, sickness, undead, and terrible choices made in terrible circumstances. We employ the X card for player safety. And so, tonight, join us in telling a story of the Fourth Blight. Wardens, tell us a little bit about who you are and what your warden is all about.
Hello, everybody. I'm Friendly Neighborhood Changeling. You can find me all over the internet as Am Changeling and on Etsy at Thornkind. Excuse me. I use any pronouns, and tonight I will be playing Galen Redbow, whose pronouns are he or they. And Galen does things. He does elfy things.
And when we get you back safely, you might be doing other things too.
Oh my.
And I am Devin. You can find me online as Sort of Sullied. And tonight I am playing Garrick, the very angry, pissed off guy who had to kill his own son because of this blight. So every darkspawn be damned.
I mean, technically they already are.
Be damned by my own blade.
Hello, everybody. My name is Steve. You can find me on the Stolen Fires Discord as Voodoo Arcade. My pronouns are he, him, and tonight I am playing Jurgen, the Tranquil Mage, who does Tranquil Mage stuff. He's great.
And I am Brody, he, they, playing Harold Wynn, he, him. And Harold is all about fighting Darkspawn and making the wealthy very uncomfortable. And he's all out of wealthy people.
There's that king over there. So, thank you all. As for me, I am your game runner. My name is Rachel. I am she, her. You can find me at Stolen Fires pretty much everywhere on the internet, including the Burning Bird app, MySpace, Instagram, YouTube, and it was Spoutable, and then apparently the guy who's running Spoutable decided to pick a fight with romance writers, and that's going about as well as you'd expect. Anyway, you can also find previous episodes of this show on YouTube, along with other shows we have run on this channel, where we would love your likes and subscribes on our trek to 1,000 subscribers. We'd also appreciate your subscription to this channel, but unlike Twitch, subscribing on YouTube is free. So, it's recap time. Brody, would you please care to read the recap for what happened last session?
If I must.
I mean, you don't have to. This is all voluntary.
So I must. Congratulations, Garrick. Winner of the proving. We make a big to-do, and we all proceed to the Prancing Nug for libations and feasting. The joyous occasion, however, is overshadowed by an air of heaviness, for we know we must go into the deep road soon. We approach the assembly, a necessary first stop before delving into the deep. They are entrenched in an argument about the Blight, some arguing that its announcement is just surfacer panic. We do pick up on the fact that while they have all the weapons they could possibly need, the Tag does not have enough hands to wield them. How do we reach these out-of-touch nobles? Not itching powder. What's more precious to them? Their lives or their way of life. Our first issue is to convince the assembly that the Blight is in fact happening. We can make a to-do about the king and going to find him, but that in and of itself is only our second issue. So we can discover whether or not he's alive or dead in the deep roads. Our third concern is negotiating an agreement to keep the short-changed blacksmiths of the Tag and their families fed, and the necessities met until the weapons at cost decree is lifted or the Blight is ended. The decision by the Grey Wardens is for our proving champion, Garrick, to speak on our behalf to the assembly, and is encouraged by the gentlest of butt pats from Harrow Wynn. And once announced, Garrick steps forward with strength and likely a bit of a bonus to his willpower from the butt pats. And he is eloquent and exquisite in the spotlight. An aura of relief seems to spread across the assembly, especially over the speaker. In gratitude, we are given provisions for our journey into the deep roads. We are accompanied by a guide, Lyric, and our newfound friend Felice, who seems to be seeking any excuse to be near the Dalish elf Galen. The further down into the depths we go, the more death and decay we find. Lyric and Felice seem unsurprised, and Lyric informs us that dwarven kingdoms have been in decline since the first Blight. It seems the Darkspawn overwhelm what is closest, and each Blight the dwarves lose yet another Tag. Kingdom after kingdom walled off to prevent further spread, yet no army has yet come to retake the deep roads. Signs of hoofprints are noticed, telling us the king must have gone this way. Lyric must depart and return to his family, and Harold requests that, should we not return in about 3 days' time, that someone come searching. Our guide promises to send his people. Felice is hesitant to leave us, and Harold tries to parse out whether or not it's for the adventure or for Galen, to which the Dalish elf has been utterly oblivious. We all agree that Felice ought to stay safe if she has any concerns for living. Convinced by wisdom from Harold, she concedes and lends Galen her necklace she inherited from her mother, with his promise to bring it back. They part ways with a gentle first kiss on each other's cheeks. The trio of Jurgen, Garrick, and Harold agree to ensure Galen lives, though Jurgen makes no promises, as he will make the decision on the logic of who must survive when the time comes. Good enough, I guess. Into the deep roads, we can sense hundreds of Darkspawn. Harold scouts ahead stealthily enough to keep out of the Darkspawn's awareness. It turns out that they have found the expedition. The king and his surviving cohort are pinned down by the mass of Darkspawn ahead, a broken bridge the only safety between the king, his entourage, and the Darkspawn. Harold does some quick and rough math on the troops' need for food, and it seems they've been gradually using their Bronto steeds for survival. Garrick estimates they'll be able to last another 5 to 7 days with the remaining 2 Brontos. We may be able to create a distraction and attract the Darkspawn to another location, and perhaps we could come up with a way of a timing device for grenades? Maybe Galen's archery could set off the grenades. But then how would we do a bridge, or even a zip line? The decision is made. Galen will shoot an arrow with a message to the king and his entourage. Harold and Jurgen will create a distraction. Garrick will work on the zip line for the troops to escape. Galen sends off the message successfully. Garrick prepares the zipline. Jurgen prepares the bombs, and Harold prepares to. He notices something that catches his eye. The large doors ahead are from their collective vision, and they are now cracked open roughly 20 inches, enough for them to start climbing through one by one. And genlocks are picking away at the opening in an attempt to widen it further before Harold's very eyes.
Okay. And so this is the scene that we open on. Thank you for reading that, Brody. Thank you, Ambrose, for note-taking. So, you have a plethora of darkspawn eyes on you, Harrowin. What do you do? What do the rest of you do?
Well, if Harold notices that the eyes are on him and he's got their attention, he starts singing an absolutely raunchy bar song. Top of his lungs.
Okay.
And then starts saying very unpleasant things about the parentage and lineage of the Darkspawn, and runs.
Okay. Are you running in any particular direction?
I would like to be running away from the pillar in the center with the peoples.
Okay.
I am going to try and draw away as many Darkspawn as possible. Oh, and to add to it, I will throw a dagger at the closest one I can see.
Okay. So I'm not going to make you roll for the dagger. There's enough darkspawn here. It's a target-rich environment. So one of them just sprouts a dagger and the eye falls down. While this is happening, what are the rest of you doing?
We all
Continuing-
notice.
Oh, sorry.
We all notice this.
Yeah, well, actually, before I ask, so, Harrowin, you are trying, I assume, to lure this small horde of darkspawn away from the rescue mission?
In the grand tradition of RPGs everywhere, I am going to attempt to kite the hell out of the mob.
Okay. I think I'm trying to figure out if this is going to be a cunning roll or a dexterity roll. I think it's going to be cunning because you're going to have to trick them.
How about
And so, I'm sorry?
communication? I am taunting the living hell out of them.
No, because you also need to be moving. So this is not just talking, it's talking and moving.
I can dance.
You can talk the talk, but can you walk the walk?
Dexterity is fine. I would rather go with dexterity if I had to choose.
Okay, I can give you dexterity.
Let's see.
So, this is going to be an average challenge to pull a few away. And the better you do with steps, so challenging is 13, hard is 15, the better you do, the more you will succeed in peeling away.
All right. Let me make sure I've got the right thing pulled up. There we are. The technology, it's slow. That would be a 16.
Okay. So, you manage to peel off about half the horde. So, there's 50 darkspawn running after you.
That's fine.
I'm gonna need a second roll from you to see how long you can keep this up.
Is this
But
also
I need a... No, this is gonna be a constitution roll.
Does it have to be?
It has to be.
Can I do cunning?
Nope. This is sheer energy and endurance.
Okay. Oh, 8 with 3 stun points?
Okay. So,
Not bad for a constitution of 0.
Well,
so
what if he was saying that he was doing speedy surge to go slightly faster?
As an elf and high dex, I am very quick.
all right.
I have a speed of 17.
That's good.
Yeah.
Their speed is not great. So, here's what happens is you manage to run away. You peel off. You attract about 50 darkspawn to follow you. But after about 2 or 3 rounds of this, you're just winded. You can't keep this up forever.
Gotta hide, gotta hide.
Okay, so during these rounds, what are the other 3 wardens up to?
Presuming Jurgen is still setting up his bombs.
I am
So
sticking
I'm
to the
going to
plan.
assume that everything has been set up at the time that Harold was like, hey, ass facing.
Okay, so I've placed my bombs. And,
Yes.
okay. Then I'm gonna stick to the plan and check to make sure that the group with the king is taking advantage of this situation. Do they seem to be reacting to the fact that the horde that was surrounding them is half gone now?
Yes.
Okay. Then I will try to make my way back over to the rendezvous point.
Okay.
I've been told to do a mission. I was told that Heroin is being the distraction and running away. That is part of the mission. I have no reason to believe that we are not on mission.
All right. Go ahead and give me a stealth check. For you to make your way back without being spotted. So this would be dexterity.
Dexterity, you say? I can do that.
How dare you to ask us to roll things that aren't our primary skill set?
That is a 14.
Okay. You beat 13, which is all you really needed. So you do manage to make it back to essentially your base. Garrick and Galen. What are
Garrick
you up
first.
to?
We've already completed building that, so now we just need to, honestly finish putting it, or, like, have them finish putting up their end. So, like, shimmy it across so that they can attach it to their cart proper, and unless they've already done that.
Yeah. This
So
is
then we
assuming
just
that all elements of the plan have been properly set up.
Okay, then we're, getting them to hurry along. Either A, one person that the king wants to go first to make sure that this rig is set up well enough that it can carry them, or the king himself. But important people
Okay.
first. Women, children, and kings.
There are no children here.
Okay, so women and kings,
Okay.
or queens.
All right. So, and I assume you're helping.
Oh, yes.
Okay. And so remind me where the bombs have been set up.
That was supposed to be somewhere where we could like landslide to get a decent chunk of these dark spawn, as well as distract them all. I thought.
I
Okay.
think if I remember the layout, there
was
was our side, the pillar, and then our side. And Jurgen and Harold went to the far side,
mhm.
and Jurgen was setting up the bombs to kind of bring down rocks on the far side gathering of.
Bringing down the house.
So about half of what's left is might be within range.
All right. Well, then it's about time for those bombs to go off.
Boom, boom, boom.
Doesn't Galen have to shoot them? Is that what we came up with?
He does. So,
Galen, shoot my bombs.
this is gonna be hard, Galen, so you're gonna need to roll at least a 15.
Explode all over those dark spawn. You're
You are
muted.
muted.
Do not fuck it up.
I said you're all fired, every last one of you.
Hey, I didn't make the scene in the Dragon Age game where somebody had a dark spawn be the other character.
Okay, Dice. Please don't murder me. You're very pretty. And you're covered in adorable paw prints.
That's the good phase, right?
What's your roll?
That was a... Let's say 1, 2, 3, 10.
Oh, no.
What's your dexterity?
It is a 3.
Wait, so
I
you rolled a
rolled-
10. And
Oh,
your
no,
dexterity
no,
was-
I added the dex to...
Oh.
Yeah, I got
This is
7
the-
total.
This is the time the dice are betraying us.
Does this include the fact that it's that special bow? I don't know what it did, but I
That
just
just
remembered.
prevents range issues.
Yeah.
All right.
Can I pay you
So-
threat to get a reroll?
Not really in this game.
Damn.
I know. It's so sad. But here is what here is what I will allow. So you fire, the arrow just plinks into the rock. You've missed. You can very easily just pull out another arrow, knock it, fire again, try again. However, this is going to eat up time that Harold Wynn may or may not have.
Shit. Yeah.
Galen returns. We've succeeded in our mission.
That's not how this works. That's not how any of this works.
Garrick, what would you like to be doing?
I don't really have much to do. I made the things aside from, trying to help convince these people to get across faster.
Okay, do you have any focuses in a ranged weapon?
Oh, one, a throwing spear.
I'll let you roll it.
Okay, I will try and throw a spear to hit a little tiny bomb.
Okay,
I am-
same difficulty, 15.
Okay. I mean, at least that's strength. Uh, Oh wait, I forgot. I get the +2 with that. Yes, I do. I rolled a 10, and I get +6 to that.
Okay. So, Galen, you aim, you fire, but you're not really used to shooting underground. The vibes are just off. So it plinks into the rock next to the bomb, and Garrick is just like, "Oh shit!" Hurls a
Javelin
throwing
throw.
spear. Okay, that's good, because otherwise you're gonna get overwhelmed by about 50 darkspawn. Fortunately, it's now only about 5. So, now, heroine, is when you need to make a stealth roll to hide from the other 50.
Okay, so this is not a consequential roll, right?
Nope.
You'll
No
be fine.
worries.
Uh,
Oh,
18. There we go.
Okay.
Let's remember, I only did poorly initially because I rolled absolute trash.
you roll like a
Oh,
3,
a
a
2
1,
and a
and
1.
2. Yeah.
Actually, not even.
Yeah.
I think it was lower because I have a +7.
No, that would still do it because it was a 15 the first time.
Well, we're good now.
My cat is sleeping like a dork, so I have to take a picture. I'm sorry.
That's fair. I can see that your cat is sleeping like a dork.
Adorable.
I don't understand what this obsession with cats is.
Look to your left. Yeah, I don't get it either.
You can find that picture in the Show Us Your Pets channel on my Discord. So, alright, so, Harold, you have peeled off half the darkspawn. And as you can tell that you're getting winded, you manage to duck behind a pile of rubble, and somehow they manage to not notice you. The bombs have gone off, maybe not entirely according to plan, but they have cut you off
Ignited.
from the... Yes. So there's only a few darkspawn left. I'm not gonna make you roll for all of it because, you know, you've fought darkspawn before. It's getting pretty easy by this point. And so, within the next 10-15 minutes, you manage to zip line all the dwarves, including the king.
Are you injured?
It's like, oh, well, if it isn't Grey Wardens doing what you normally do and coming to the rescue, I thought we were all goners. Doomed to die down here. Thank the ancestors you showed up when you did.
Yes, this was very fortunate for you. Question: Do you or any of your associates need medical attention?
Oh, we've taken some minor injuries. Nothing too serious.
If nothing is life-threatening, then medical attention can wait.
Well, as long as you're able to move, we better skedaddle.
Aye.
I don't know how
All right.
many days we've been down here yet, and we said we'd only be down here about 3, so I can't tell.
Oh, no nonsense. Well, no, that's fine. We should get
What?
going. We should return back to the tide. Do you
Oh,
have
yeah.
news?
About that. So, some things have gone down since you've been away for a while.
All right, so I assume we are having this conversation as we're moving
Walk
through
and
the
talk.
tunnels.
We're doing a
Okay.
Sorkin. We're doing a Sorkin.
Is there any
No,
issue?
we're not. He sucks.
Yes, he does. We're doing a Sorkin.
Is there any issue with Harold rejoining the group, or am I on my own at this point?
So, that was actually the next role I was going to ask for someone to make. So, this would be a tracking role. Your Darkspawn focus would apply. So it's a perception roll. And essentially pick out the route that takes you where the Darkspawn aren't. Unless you feel like fighting a horde of about 50. I'd gladly run that combat.
That would definitely require rolling new characters.
I would enjoy the shit out of sitting back and watching that, so carry on.
That would be pretty fun.
Well, we aren't alone anymore. We do have... How many people are in this force?
About 20.
So, 24 of us versus 50 Darkspawn isn't the worst odds, but still preferable to avoid. But again, does Harold have any issues rejoining the group, or...
Well, let's, one person make me this perception tracking roll, and then we'll figure out what Harold's up to. This is going to be challenging, so it's going to be a 13.
I only have +3 to this, so
What was this for? It was perception?
perception, darkspawn detection.
So
Okay, I only have
is +2.
2 here as well.
Yay. And
Jurgen, how's your perception?
My perception is shit.
So what you're saying is that Harold's the one with the perception.
no, because mine's 3 total. Like you said it's +1, and then darkspawn focus means I get a 3.
Mhm.
So is mine really higher than yours?
Oh, wait. No, I've got 2, and then...
And then
If-
the darkspawn focus. So you
Yeah.
got 4 total.
And I'm assuming I can't roll because this is for the main group.
Exactly.
Yep, Galen's it.
Okay. Here goes.
You can do it. And if you don't, well, it's okay. He'll just re-roll.
So being nice to the dice didn't work.
So be
Work.
mean to them.
Work, you little lazy fuckers. Shit. Don't work that well. Oh, thank fuck. Okay, that was 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16.
Okay, awesome. So you do manage to pick out the safe route past the Darkspawn Horde. Harold, when you have no issues rejoining the rest of your wardens.
It was good to see you, Harold.
You guys as well. I would not recommend the motivation of a bunch of Darkspawn trying to eat you to run.
That seems like it would be good motivation.
Too
Pretty
good.
sure. I'm
Too
pretty
good.
sure it only lasts for so long, though.
Well,
I don't have to run a lot. I usually hid after.
Hide. I know.
So looks like we got the king and the crew, and let's go back. Your Majesty, we
So-
might want to discuss some things on the way.
Hi, what news have you worked on?
Your assembly is trying very hard not to think that there's a blight. Your blacksmiths are on the verge of rebelling because they haven't been paid more than
We did temporarily fix the rioting, though.
Yes.
Rioting, has it gotten that bad?
Well, they can't afford to eat, so a bit. And
Ah.
Your edict is still in place.
you don't have enough people to actually use the weapons that you're making.
Technically not true.
Okay, you won't let people use the weapons that you're making. So, I mean, you have the numbers, you just don't want them. Because they're... I just point to Galen and I said, they look like him.
But not with the ears.
Like elves.
No, not with the ears. The tattoos.
Oh, yeah,
You're undesirable.
Unwanted, undernourished, and overqualified.
Well, and they also have no families.
True, but you don't have enough people to protect the families you have without them.
They're kind of already doing this without any help. And they're doing a damn good job, I'll just say. Without them, you guys probably would have already gotten hit a few times.
If you think about it, they've already been doing it out of the kindness of their own hearts.
Oh, well, let's not ascribe too nice a motivation. We all know that their survival is at much at stake.
Yes, but they could desert where they live, go somewhere else, evacuate, but they haven't.
And when you say that their survival is as much at stake, you're not giving them anything to help your survival either.
Hey, you know what? Let's put the social dynamics on the back burner for a little while. We don't want to blow your goodwill too fast.
Well, hey,
What?
we did keep...
What? Harold Wynn being the voice of reason? What?
Yeah,
Being nice to a king?
Harold Wynn is also the one who knows exactly how difficult it is to get the entitled nobility to give a damn about the poor people. Your Majesty, it comes down to this. Are you prepared to tell your people that there's a blight?
Oh, I know quite well that there is a blight. I'm not a fool. I came down here looking for the Anvil of the Void.
Oh. I don't know what that is.
By any chance, might that be behind that door that the Darkspawn are crawling through?
Oh, it almost certainly is. But there's clearly no way through.
Okay, forgive me for not knowing. The Anvil of the what?
Oi, it's called the Anvil of the Void. One of our greatest paragons, Caradin, made it. During the First Blight, he created an army of stone men, stone soldiers, to protect the Dwarven kingdoms.
The golem things?
Aye. But at the height of the war, he disappeared and he took the anvil with him. I came down here thinking perhaps we could retrieve it. But, as you see, it's on the other side of that gate. And my engineers tell me the seals won't hold.
Nope, they're already working there. They're already in. Only a few right now, but they were chipping away to open the hole that they had made.
Well, and we've got days.
So, how big is this place that's behind that seal?
According to the maps, it's another part of the Deep Roads. There are other abandoned taigs on the other side of it.
So you're looking for a needle in a haystack?
Oh, I've quite given up on finding the Anvil of the Void. It'll take time and resources we simply don't have.
So is your recommendation that you're going to evacuate Ortanteg or Orzammar?
I don't know that we've got a choice.
You do. Well, we were kind of browbeating you about the head over before. You do have a choice. but it would require a sacrifice of your social structure rather than your physical location.
We're already going to have to sacrifice a lot of our social structure. Many of the nobles are going to have to leave their homes and holdings behind.
Would you be open to meeting with one of the leaders of your Dust Town citizens or unmentionables?
Meet a communication role.
Ooh.
If you have any sort of persuasion, that would apply.
I have deception. That's not. I'm not lying here.
No, this is going to be hard. It's going to be 15.
Oh wait, but 12 plus 2 stunt points?
You only get the stunt points if you make the roll.
I know!
Well, with 2 stunt points, he can get 2 times advantageous positioning in conversation.
Alright. So, you can tell that you have not.
Oh, wait. Big Dad, is that for him right now?
Oh, is Big Dad okay?
I'm not
You
sure.
have a benevolence, Harold wins, so you may roll one more d6.
You pronounced it wrong.
Benevolence?
Benevolence.
That would be 18 stunt points.
Okay,
And then violence.
thanks
Good
to
violence.
Violence, you succeed.
And
And now you may choose to spend your stunt points if you wish.
I see. I think there might be a relevant stunt to add to that. Role-playing stunts. Let's see. Alright, so let's see. I think this might be sway the crowd.
Alright, which one does that do?
Okay, so interpersonal efforts are so effective that they spill over onto others in the area. You affect one additional person of your choice past the original target.
Okay. So
I will hit their lieutenant or whoever the leader.
So I'll give you a couple of choices. So, King Branner is obviously traveling with an entourage, and he's got his advisors. He has his engineering advisor, who's the one who has been saying the seals won't hold. You have essentially a political advisor, someone from the noble class who is, sort of here to earn glory, and a military commander.
I'm going to do the political advisor.
Okay.
Because the military commander is likely going to be convinced by the reality that they need more people. And the other one, the engineering one, like they're science nerds.
I mean,
The politics of this is the hard part, not the
social bias is the hell of a drug, but okay.
but yeah, the politics though are the hard part. In my opinion, the politics is the one that you need to win over the nobles to let this happen in a way that you don't need to win over the military.
Okay. So, you make your case. And you can see the noble who is to the, walking next to Brenner. Like, you can see him start thinking. He's got his concerned face on. And so what the king will then say, like, oh, well, desperate times do require desperate measures. All right, I'll meet with your friend on one condition. He's got to come anonymously. I can't be seen meeting with tattooed dwarves.
We could, if depending on the rush of getting you back, we could bring him down to your campsite before you headed further into the deep roads. That would
All right,
avoid,
that's
yes, that would avoid the
Political implications.
come back, and he was supposed to come back maybe around now.
well, I was supposed to be back a while ago. But all right, if you think that Orton Tai can be without me for another few hours without... You did say they were rioting, though.
Oh, we kind of put a temporary fix on that. We got the nobles that were still there to be willing to feed the blacksmiths, so that they don't go hungry. And a hungry blacksmith is a happy or a hungry blacksmith's not a happy blacksmith. So we figured it'd last at least a week or so.
We tried to keep things stable before we left.
Yeah, we didn't want to come back to already ruined Arton Tig before before the Darkspawn got to it.
And full transparency, I might have suggested to the blacksmith at some point, in order to keep them from rioting in the moment, that their concerns would be addressed and they might be getting back pay.
Oh, we'll see what's in the treasury, won't we?
Just letting you know what it took to keep your people from killing each other in the middle of a blight.
Yeah, those nobles are a bunch of they're a bit prickly sometimes.
So,
Big smile.
you make another journey of indeterminate time. You sleep, you eat, you walk, you sleep again. The dwarves clearly have a better sense for the passage of time than the rest of you do. They sort of lightly make fun of you a little bit for not having stone sense.
I'm gonna spend the entire time bullshitting with some of them to try and actually get this sense of time in the darkness. Probably fail, but I'm gonna try at least.
Give me a communication roll.
A +0 roll? What?
Stop asking us to do things.
13. A 6, a 6, and a 1. Guess what the 1 is?
Okay. So, you managed to develop a rapport with some of the dwarves.
Does the +2 for winning the proving count here too?
Sure.
Then that's a 15.
Okay. So you do develop a rapport with the dwarves. Usually the ones who are blacksmiths like you can talk shop with them. Also maybe do like a little bit of sparring after dinner. Nope, false alarm. Okay, so, sorry, just lightly trolling chat. So, you can tell by the end of it that you have their respect, but as much as they try to explain stone sense to you, fuck if you know. Just seems like it's something that they grew up with. So, it's like how, when you're topside, you're like, oh yeah, north. How do you do that? You just do it.
If I have to spend another 6 months to figure out how to feel stone sense, I'm good not knowing.
Okay, yeah, because there's probably stuff topside going on that you need to take care of as well.
It also sounds like spending too much time among dwarves is not the best way to avoid a blight.
Yes,
Fair.
remember, this is a stopgap, a attempt to stop the stem through the deep roads, and to get an idea of their traversal numbers.
Also to get the dwarves to be like, hey, can we have some fighters, please?
Right, the contracts. Right.
Now that you've got the bodies you need to defend your take, we have a few extras.
Exactly.
All right. That's an easy convo. We got this.
Okay, so you do make your way back to the campsite. So is there any last minute like prep things you want to say, things you want to do?
I think Harold would offer to go ahead to try and meet up with Larrick and get him down there so that we can do this quickly.
Okay.
Of all of us, I think I have the highest chance of not being killed on my own, just for a brief period.
Okay, really? You have less of a chance of dying than me?
Yes, because I would not fight.
Fair.
Mr. Clang, clang, clang goes the armor.
Clang, clang, clang goes my armor.
Ding,
All
ding
right.
goes the bell.
So,
Oh, Galen would like to check in with Felice.
well, but that, if I understand correctly, is what Harold is doing. Is he's going ahead by himself?
Oh, gotcha.
He's gonna bring your girlfriend back.
Scouting ahead / getting Larrick to come back so that we can have the conversation that needs to be had away from prying eyes.
/ getting Galen's.
Oh, if Felice is there, I'm going to have her come back with me.
All right.
And then make sure that
So-
hiding space for her and Galen.
All right, go ahead and give me that stealth roll. Or tracking.
Let's do stealth. Uh, 19?
Okay. So, yes. You do manage to sneak around. You are not spotted by any ambient darkspawn. Yeah, and you very quickly, very easily make it back to the campsite, where you do see Larrick and Felice just sort of chilling out, waiting for you.
Just because I haven't done anything truly trolly or horrible, I am going to when I'm going to stumble toward the campsite like I am injured and dying, and then collapse at the edge of the campfire.
Okay, that is remarkably cruel.
I gotta get the sass.
All right. So, yeah, you pretend to be injured and dying. You fall down, and Larrick and Felice both come running up to you,
And
you just hear Felice say like, "Oh no."
I do the dramatic, "Oh, Felice, my heart is broken, for you are away from your one true love." And then I get up. It's like, we're fine. And I wait for them to
Okay.
hit.
Yeah, roll dexterity, please.
I hope you fall on your ass.
Who wants to do malevolence
Oh,
right now to
man.
make him
No,
roll
no.
terribly?
17 with 4 stunt points.
You could do like a sick backflip. as Steve
No,
would
honestly,
say.
if I can, I will let them hit me, but I will roll so it doesn't hurt.
Okay, yes, Felice definitely slaps you.
And so it's like I do the full stage slap thing of like as her hand is coming, my face just turns with it. And then on the other side I clap so that it sounds like it was a full on power smack.
And
Fair,
so Lyric will ask,
fair, fair, fair.
so is this elven humor or is it warden humor or
It's poor elf from Orlais humor.
so noted if I ever visit an alienage? Why are you alone?
I actually ran up to scout ahead and also to see if we couldn't get you to come back with us a little bit because you have an audience with the king.
I have a what now?
Congratulations, Lyric. You are going to be speaking for the dwarves of the Undertowns. And if you play our cards right, we might actually be able to get you legitimacy as the army of as part of the army of the Tag.
That means having to fight topside, doesn't it?
That I can't tell you, but I can tell you that if they don't arm you, they're going to have to leave. And if you're fighting topside, it means you're fighting with us. And by us, I mean Grey Wardens.
All right.
And if you don't want it, we can spike this deal, and I'm sure an Exodus is doable. But if this is something you think you and yours would be interested in, we can make it happen.
It's not that I don't want it. It's that I'm not very sanguine about the king's chances of giving it up.
I think I got through to him. I'm pretty sure I got through to one of his political advisors. And also, he kind of owes us for getting him out of a death trap.
Well, we'll see how much pride the king of Orkontaig has.
He owes us, and we owe you. More importantly, we like you, especially her, and especially Galen. So, yes, Galen, I am playing your wingman.
Are we declaring our feelings for each other?
I am declaring them for them, yes.
I see.
All right.
Please,
So,
how do I feel about you?
You love me for my humor.
Thank you for letting me know.
Happy to.
So, the thing is that the king doesn't even want the other dwarves on his expedition to see him meeting with a castless.
So I can arrange that. Here's what we're going to do. You two, we're going to find a nice little side room that doesn't have darkspawn in it. You're going to park there. And then I'm going to tell the king at some point that he should take a bathroom break. And there's a lovely private space over there to do it in.
Okay.
That'll also tickle his sensibilities about your status compared to him. And also, when you serve up the bullshit that he's going to have to deal with, he'll be in the right mindset for it.
All right. So,
I'm sorry, Bronto shit.
I mean, that's what the lava pools are for.
Nothing like molten rock and sulfur and Bronto crap. That is an aroma for the ages.
I mean, it burns up pretty damn quick into lava.
At least it's not bloody Bronto crap. Never get that smell out of your mind.
Okay, so, you arrange this meeting, You come back to the main camp. What do you tell the wardens?
I will kind of quietly tell them, setting up a meeting. When the king needs to poop, we keep everybody else busy. Deal?
I will be sure to be entertaining.
Oh yes.
You should regale them with stories of Garrick in the proving. And especially your part where you cheered him on.
I will regale them.
Okay. Let's do some backroom diplomacy.
Backdoor diplomacy. Gotcha.
All right. So, who is going to be part of this meeting?
I think I should. But I also am more than happy to let one of you guys do it.
As much
mean-
as you're stat-wise the appropriate person, I'm not sure that your character is the appropriate person for this.
Someone should absolutely go with him.
Yeah.
I
Okay, so we're gonna do it that way. Garrick and Jurgen, I think you two need to go as a unit to entertain everybody.
I thought Garrick, maybe because he's, the champion of the proving, so maybe.
Which nobody in that room is going to know, except that we could say it.
I mean, you can say, oh yeah, I want a proving. Like, oh wow, you're a badass.
Mm-hmm. I want a proving solo.
So Garrick, you and I'll puppy advise you, and you're the shiny star.
Sure.
And Galen, you're gonna have to be extra sociable.
Oh,
Regale them with the girl that is waiting for you. They'll love it.
Just spin stories. Just don't talk about her facial tattoos.
sure. Won't they have a problem with mine?
You're an elf. No, probably not.
Well, you can always just tell them that they don't mean the same thing topside.
No, that's fair. I can give that a try.
I trust you and Jurgen to keep everybody else distracted.
Distracted, yes. I can do that. I hope.
It will be done.
Worst case scenario, just show them some fancy shooting with your bow.
Hey, was that a reference to that very poor job that I did in the...
Oh, wait, you didn't hit it?
What? No, I definitely did.
I mean, shit, I threw that thing with no hopes in hell of getting anywhere near there.
Yeah, no, you just... I know you couldn't see it very well, but, I shot it, and it was a dud until the spear pushed the arrow in even further.
Wait, my spear went that far?
Hmm?
Yes.
I'm awesome.
You are. Keep that energy. We're gonna need it. Garrett,
Okay.
so I will go up to His Majesty and say, Your Majesty, I know your feet are a bit dusty, and you might need a few minutes alone, and I found a lovely place for you to relieve yourself of your burdens for a moment if you'd come with me.
A deep roads commode, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I'll follow.
All right. So I will lead His Majesty into the room with the undesirables.
Okay.
And yeah.
I think it's just one. Because I
No,
don't think...
they're both there.
Oh, okay.
Although you do see when you open the door, Felice looks hopeful and then looks disappointed.
Police, I will let him know after, and he will stay behind a little bit so that you can travel back to them.
I don't know what you're talking about. No, don't mind me.
People would just be so much easier if they were honest. That's the person with the deception focus. But, Your Majesty, may I introduce you to Lyric? Lyric, your king?
All right, says Renner. So, tell me what I should do with the reprobates in Dust Town.
I kind of give Garrick a look.
Well, I mean, currently, they're already trying to quelch what Darkspawn are headed your way. And they're doing a fair job of it, too. But they're under-armored, they have no weapons, and let's be honest, they're treated terribly.
Well, they're treated the way that they deserve.
So, because they were born, they're being treated poorly.
Garrick, we're not
It's not
here
always about birth. You can lose your caste if you commit the wrong crime.
How many of them in Dusttown started out castless?
That's not really something I track.
I think we're getting off topic, because the point of this is not to completely justify or analyze the social dynamics of a society. What we're talking about is survival. And what is more important if you value your culture? Keeping Dust Towners unarmed and vulnerable, and a weak buffer between the Darkspawn and the Tag.
And that's if they want to remain as the buffer. They already are unwanted. What if they just left?
That's when Lyric cuts in and says, well, for better or worse, Orton Taig is our home. But you're going to have to explain to me our interest in supporting this king.
Well, I don't know if that's my place to do. And I look at the king. You guys need each other, and it's a question of whether or not you can get over your cultural differences to see that, or if the only hope there is for us to offer conscription to every dwarf in Dusktown as Grey Wardens.
That's
so that
not
we
good.
So that we can keep a few people from this tag in the fight.
You can have every single dwarf in Dusttown if you like, says the king.
And
Garrick, this would be a mass casualty event.
Oh, yes.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't necessarily think that you have enough of the Archdemon blood to recruit.
No, I was going to say
them.
that.
I can see Garrick's about. I step on Garrick's foot hard.
Okay, so here's the thing. We're not going to recruit the entirety of Dusttown, because besides the fact that not all of them want to come along, as they said, Orton Taig is still their home, and they want to defend their home, even if they're the unwanted and undesirables. But what if defending their home was able to give them a better place?
What do you have in mind? Asks the king, and you can tell that Lyric is also interested in your suggestion.
You've said that they can lose their caste based on crimes they have committed. Well, what
Aye.
about services to Ortontaig? Wouldn't helping defend against a blight be worthy of regaining a caste?
But Garrick, are you suggesting that perhaps forming a legion of those who wish to reclaim their honor within the Tig? Perhaps a legion of dead?
A legion of the damned, I'd say, more than the dead.
Well, we can work on the titles. But perhaps service in that force for a time would earn one the right to return to the Tig proper?
Well, dead is dead, I'm afraid.
Well, what if
But I
they were armed to prolong their lives? They were in service to protect the Tig, and if they're still alive at the end, I mean, it's a big if, but I mean, that's a great reward for them, or perhaps their own children, if they're still alive. Death in service to the king regained the honor for their children.
Can I get a read of Lyric on this?
He is interested, but he's suspicious. And you kind of sense in him a kindred spirit. He has seen nobles promise to make things better, and just somehow it never happens. But he says, Lyric says, well, your idea does have some merit. I wouldn't mind fighting to defend my children. And then he looks to the king and says, assuming that there was a place for them.
As king, you would have the ability to write a decree that would state those from Dusttown that join this army of one people, the people of Ortontaig, reclaim their honor, reclaim their family's honor. The Tig survives. You don't lose another holding to another blight.
That at the end of the day, that's the thing we're talking about. You need bodies to fight to keep your Tig.
We've seen how many you have in Ortontaig proper, and that's not enough.
And if you're hoping for the Grey Wardens to come and save you, we're it right now. We're what you
Oh, no, we're not planning. We're not relying on the Grey Wardens to save us.
That's good, because this is us trying to save you. Right here.
But I don't think you appreciate our situation. Orton, and this is the king speaking, we both saw those seals. We've got days.
Those seals lead to the just more deep roads, the anvil, the Tig itself.
Oh, quite possibly the anvil. But you saw how many darkspawn were coming out of them. More every hour.
Now, I know those seals, those giant doors, were to protect the passageways leading here. What would happen if...
I'm sorry, what was the question?
I was going to say, what would happen if you collapsed the tunnels leading up to them?
Oh.
Could you?
So, give me... Let me make sure I get this correct. Do you have the engineering focus?
I do.
For cunning? Go ahead and give me a check for that.
Also, Rachel, just to clarify, the Darkspawn were going into the door, not coming out of it, right? Or are they coming
They're
out
coming
of
out of it.
Oh, that's even worse.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I thought they were going in. I'm like, oh no, they're going for the artifact. No, they're coming out of it, which means that place is gone.
Will the
Right.
dragon die be any use?
Sure. Let me look up the stunts. How many did you get?
I got 15 and a 5 for the. I got straight 5s. So that means I got a 19 for my roll.
Excellent. Okay, I'm not sure that any of these stunts would apply here. So I will just tell you, based on the dreams you were having, the doors you saw, and probably also just your Grey Warden's sense of Darkspawn. So as an engineer, you know that planning is part of it. And but another big part of it is just raw manpower. And yeah, you could collapse the tunnels, but you don't know where there might be other entrances. And at some point, the unnumbered Darkspawn would be able to clear the rubble. So essentially what collapsing a tunnel would do would buy you time.
Yeah.
So maybe weeks instead of days.
It's still an idea for them, at least, because they're the dwarves who spent their entire lives underground. They would know better than poor old Garrick about collapsing a tunnel to save a few more weeks of time. But I'll still throw it out there for him.
And do we have any sense of what connections there are from the other side of that door into Ortontaig? Or is that just also unknown? Like, is that actually a bottleneck in the system? Or is that just one door of countless others?
So if you ask the king, is like, that gate was sealed during the second blight. There's more that we've got to seal off every blight that comes by. These are the maps and the charts that I have. I don't know how accurate they are past that door. It's possible that there are more tunnels that we've forgotten. It's as if, topside, you lost more and more territory every blight. You had to keep retreating further and further into the woods or into your cities, and you couldn't go outside. And all you had were maps that your grandfather had drawn.
Your Majesty, I grew up in an alienage in Valroyo. You just described my entire culture.
Well, then, you know why I can't give you a straight answer, because I simply don't know. Nobody does.
At the end of the day, it's your choice how you want to fight this. If you don't want to make deals with your own society, then you know your options. We will help as best we can to save as many lives as possible. And if you want to draw a line in the stone that here and no further, we'll help you as best we can.
So he looks to Garrick and says, well, if you'd be willing to lead a sortie to collapse the wall, I think probably here would be best. You'd be buying us a few extra weeks.
I'd be willing. As long as you're willing to take in your people and consider their redemption, you should say.
So he looks to Larrick, and Larrick is, on guard, suspicious and waiting. And the king will say, "The wardens have a point. We'll arm you. Consider you to have died already. But we'll create a house for every child in Dusttown who doesn't yet have ink on their face." Larrick is... Well, we already planned to die fighting, but at least this way our children will be taken care of. Does that suit you, Grey Wardens?
That suits you all. We're not here to dictate your culture, just point out problems that need addressing.
I
Carry
think
your
it
note,
works.
I can't believe I just said that.
And
You
you're
put itching powder in one noble's pants.
Unrelated note, King. You're gonna have to work on what's gonna happen with all of the blacksmiths, because once you get back, them being fed and not rioting is on you.
Well, once I get back, I don't think I'll be a very popular king, as I'll have to tell them that the only option they've got is evacuation.
Well, better for them to all be alive than, well,
Oh.
you saw the Darkspawn.
If I could impose upon you one more time, it would help drive the point home if I had some Grey Wardens with me when I made the news known.
We will help any way we can for all of this.
This is just a question for you. Would going there and doing this take up more time for me, or is the sortie going down to blow up the path just going to be a part of it?
It's two separate things.
Okay.
Did we just inadvertently create the Legion of the Dead for someplace other than Orzammar?
Who said anything about inadvertently?
I had that in mind this entire time. So
Oh yeah, no, I was trying to avoid it because I thought it might have existed already.
Nope, you just created it. So,
Cheers to
that.
you.
cheers indeed. So, with that, the two men, they don't shake hands. The king's not going to touch a dirty castless dwarf. But they have reached an accord. They nod. And you make your way back to Ortontaig. And we will narrate what happens next in about 10 minutes. Because we're going to take a very quick break.
Before we go to break, Harold makes sure that Galen gets some alone time in the room before the group leaves.
Oh, we're definitely going to have that scene after break. All right. And we return. So, you have created a new institution, or likely will have created a new institution in Dwarven culture. Legion of the Dead, Legion of the Damned, we're workshopping the title. But essentially, dwarves, with nothing left, with nowhere else to go, even the castless, can join the Legion of the Dead and redeem their armor, not their armor, redeem their honor.
Well, I mean, join the Legion, redeem some armor and weapons.
I mean, that's what Lyric has been doing. So, congratulations! Now we just have to see what the noble cast thinks of that. So, Galen's being eaten by a cat. Oh, no, not anymore.
Consider Galen a benevolent.
Oh,
Aw. Thank you, Mel.
I have dirty thoughts. I'm not going to say them.
so, anyone? What was I going to say? All right. Sorry. My train of thought ran away from me.
It is too early for train jokes right now.
That's
I was
Thursday.
gonna say something else and I course corrected. Okay, so as you make your way back to the surface, of course, Lyric makes himself scarce so as not to create any sort of political embarrassment from the king, who he has established and rapport with. But you know, there's still propriety to be considered. But Felice falls into step with the other Grey Wardens. And just sort of comes up to Galen, smiling a little shyly, like, I'm glad you're okay.
I'm glad to be okay. And he'll pull the necklace from over his head. Your mother's amulet, safe and sound.
Well, but there's blight, right?
There is.
It's gonna last a while, because they usually do.
They do.
Okay. Well, maybe then you should keep it until after the blight. And then you can give it back to me.
Are you sure? I would hate to. Would feel badly if something happened to it.
I'd feel badly if something happened to you.
He kind of like blushes.
As she, go ahead and give me a perception roll, Galen, please.
Well, let's see how benevolent the dice are. But I do have a benevolence from Mel, so. Uh, 10 total.
Okay.
With the benevolence die,
Oh, I did not roll the benevolence die, so.
that was given explicitly for you. Do not save it for something vital. You use
Don't
it for the romance, you putz. That is why it is here. Get some, Galen.
So 15 total then.
There we go.
Okay. So when Felsi, or not Felsi, when Felice, it's another dwarf character from the game. Leave me alone. So when Felice trips and falls into your arms, you're pretty sure she didn't do it on purpose.
Oh. Are you all right? And he'll just kind of brush her hair out of her face gently.
No, I'm fine. I want to come with you.
It's very dangerous.
It's dangerous down here too. If it's really a blight, then nowhere's safe. And I'm not asking for you to recruit me. I'd be a terrible Grey Warden, but I can watch your back. I can take care of your griffins. I can fix your armor if it gets broken.
Are you sure?
I mean, if you don't want me to, I'll understand.
No, I mean, I want to make sure this is something you want.
Don't be silly. Of course it's something I want.
Then I would be honored if you came with us. I definitely need to ask the others.
Without breaking a beat, walking ahead. Yes, she can, and not useful. Galen, say honest things. Turns back around. Like, he doesn't even turn around, just shouts it at him. And keeps walking.
Galen will... Oh,
Garrett
sorry, go ahead.
gives a light pat on the butt with this bastard sword. Go get her, Tiger.
Eric, how
where did you come from?
Married? You've got no subtlety.
What's subtlety?
And Jürgen had to step away briefly, but I will pilot his character enough to say that he says something perfectly deadpan
I'm sure
about bringing her along.
She will be very useful out of combat.
It is useful to have 2 smiths to fix our armor.
Well, with their responses, Galen will clasp Felice's hand in his. And then Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm sorry, continue.
Well, when we get back to Dusktown, you can get your things.
I don't have much. Nobody in Dusktown does. Just promise me one thing.
Yes?
Don't let me fall into the sky.
Oh.
I heard Devin laugh through your mic.
Yes.
I'm sorry. The idea that she offered to keep the griffin, but also doesn't want to fall into the sky?
Well, no, see, the griffin is for helping catch her if she falls.
Oh, this is going to be an adventure.
All right, so.
Oh no! If that's where it ends, Tara will turn around, stop, look at both of them, make sure everyone else has moved past, and say, "You're going to have time to kiss. I suggest you use it." And turns around and catches up to everybody else.
Galen is red, like all up his ears. His Vaseline kind of almost blends in.
Felice is just as red and blushing.
And Harold will stop a couple steps like, That red means you like each other. Okay? Kiss.
Galen's gonna just like wave Harold off.
There's that. It's almost like he's watching two of his toys. Like kiss, kiss.
Oh,
Stop
you were
being
one
a
of those
creeper,
kids.
Harold.
No. He walks. He's just like, and turns around without saying anything else and keeps going.
So when everyone else turns away, Galen will lean down and give her a kiss.
She very much enjoys that and kisses back. Yay, you've got a dwarven girlfriend now.
At least one of us.
Garrick is standing there quietly, like, you forgot I was here.
I'm pretty sure Galen makes the most highest pitched squeak you've ever heard emitted from this fighter elf.
I mean, Felice will pick up a rock and throw it at Garrick.
It's okay, you guys are the ones that started doing it when I was standing here.
All you need to do is hit Jurgen and you've gotten everybody.
Out of character, except the grenades.
Jurgen's polite.
They started making
Okay.
out in front of me. What am I supposed to do?
Walk on.
Avert your eyes.
Garrick, if you want to wake up tomorrow, let's go.
Clang, 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 clang.
Have fun. Don't go too far if the dark spawn eat you.
Okay, so unless there's any more creeping that Galen's friends want to do.
It's not creeping. It's just really, really supportive.
And I wasn't creeping. I was standing behind them when they stopped and started making out.
Oh,
How else did I pat him on the butt?
Garrick, you've had children. You know that's not considered making out.
I mean, we don't know what his marriage was like. So, anyway, before that question gets answered, because it's a question that nobody needs to have answered, we are going to skip forward to your arrival back at Orton Taig. So, there are two things that need to be wrapped up. So, this is not one of the two things, but Lyric, when you arrive, he will peel off and start organizing. He's going to let all the other dwarves of Dust Town know what the king has decided and what will be proclaimed very shortly in the assembly. There are there are two things to accomplish. One is what the king has asked of you, which is to have some Grey Wardens essentially stand with him when he's like, oh yeah, we have a problem. And for the Grey Wardens to be like, yep, it's a problem.
This is my shocked face.
And essentially like back him up with like, you need to evacuate. And then also, presuming Garrick, along with whoever else wants to come with him, to make another quick trip back down into the deep roads, and collapse some of the tunnels.
Galen, I think you should stay up here and help organize.
All right.
Meaningful glance to Felice. And we will. I will go with Garrick. I can at least scout ahead so that we don't get surprised if Darkspawn come running.
Sounds good to me. So who's gonna stand around and be the yes man for the king? Looks to Jurgen.
Jurgen makes a good yes man.
Very good hype man, too. He really is the reason I won that fight in the proving.
He was. And the reason I made some decent coin.
All right, well, Steve had to step away, so when he gets back, we will determine where Jurgen is going. Or I suppose you can just tell him.
I think Garrick might actually be the boss.
I mean, it's up to you to pick your squad captain.
I mean, if you want Harold to do it, he's happy to.
Well, I mean, really, he should have most of us standing there when he's telling the assembly, so that way, it's not just a single Grey Warden standing there, and then we go and do the mission.
Yeah, I think we need to report back first before we go split up again.
Isn't it? And yeah.
Thank you. Pardon me.
So, especially since, when they have 3 or 4 Grey Wardens standing there saying, yeah, it's gonna be bad, and I'm the guy who killed a Drake. And then we can rush down and blow up some tunnels and
We'll also,
maybe see if I can save some of those explosives for later, too.
and also we could probably use some help from, dwarves.
Yeah.
And the kings, I hear, command some of them.
Okay.
That's how
So-
monarchies work, right?
Quoi?
But monarchies work, the king is in charge, right?
Yeah, but there's also the assembly that he's got to share power with. So, the king and his entourage are in fact heading straight to the assembly. So, who is going with him?
I think we all are right now.
Okay.
Yeah. That way we have the most oomph for his announcements.
All right, Jurgen, are you gonna follow the king to the assembly?
Yes.
Okay. All right, so you're going along with the rest of the Grey Wardens, and so, and I also assume Jurgen would have no problems. When Galen asked, "Hey, can Felsi come with us?" She doesn't want to be a Grey Warden, but she'll be like support
We
of many types.
sure.
Okay. So, you arrive at the assembly, and you've got the heralds who are standing on every corner. They're shouting "News of the hour," and then it almost like spreads. The king has returned. King Branner is alive, addressing assembly momentarily. And so, there's some movement in the Taig as the nobles like poke their heads out of their homes and like, what? Oh shit. And everyone starts rushing to the assembly. And you can kind of tell that the king, he very much wants to get this done and accomplished. But he's also like keeping pace, letting people collect there. And so there's a lot of glad to see you alive, Your Majesty. Ancestors be praised, etc., etc. So,
There's only one person I want to have the king talk to before we get there. I want him to talk to his steward, so that his steward can just give him, the political summary, so that he's able to better.
Oh yeah, the king's
Yeah.
not dumb. He knows he needs to check in and be like, all right, so what's the lowdown?
Yeah.
And so the steward explains everything that you have seen. And so, in about 20-30 minutes, the assembly is more or less full, and the king steps out onto the platform. It says, Lords and ladies of Orton type, heads of our noble families. I must confess some amount of deception on my part. When I went down into the deep roads, I told you that I was going there to see if this was or wasn't a blight. The truth is, I already knew. Word has reached us of the fall of Antiva, that an archdemon has been spotted amongst their numbers. I went to see if there was anything left of what Paragon Caradon created for us. And it is only through the bravery and resourcefulness of these Grey Wardens that I made it back alive to tell you. The Paragon remains lost to us, as does his anvil. What I had hoped, an army to defend us, I did not find. And I have further bad news that the seals, which have kept our Tig safe these many long centuries, are breaking. We have no choice but to abandon the Tig. And then, as soon as he says that, just everyone has something to say. I knew it, it can't be, we can't leave, what about my family? And this is when the king looks to the rest of the wardens like, you're up.
Alright, so they're just being obnoxiously loud right now, right?
I mean, it's a little understandable. They've just been given, like, real bad news.
Didn't we give them this news already? But now they actually have to believe it?
Essentially, yeah. Now they've got to do something about it. So, how do you calm the masses, persuade the masses, yell at the masses?
I kind of want to pull out my little mini anvil and just start, like, methodically bong, bong, as I, hammer in, like, a rough weapon that I've been working on into better shape until they all start to quiet down.
So, when you say mini anvil, I'm still thinking like this isn't something you can put in your pocket.
No, it's like a 40-pound thing that I'd have to carry in there.
Okay. You can't really wrangle an anvil and hammer into this building. There's a lot of steps. But you can definitely start banging on the stonework.
And just kind of keep it methodical until everyone just quiets down.
Okay, what about the other three of you?
Is there a place, are we standing in a place that has good acoustics?
Absolutely. You were deliberately put there so that when you spoke, you could be easily heard.
With everyone's forbearance, I think Harold is going to start singing a song of the Third Blight. Something that carries over from the last time this happened. Maybe something that he just picked up. Living in Val Royeaux, something that might have become a popular tune with chantries or with taverns, but just something that it is a song unquestionably associated with the Blight, with a theme of both the pain and sorrow of the fight, but also the joy in survival and victory.
Okay. Yeah. There's almost assuredly some Andrastian aspect of the chant of light that you can start singing.
And doing it in a way that I'm like, ideally one that actually does have a call and response element. Trying to get everyone to like either notice or join in.
Give me a communication roll.
Yeah. Fortunately, these are not animals. But also, I might be laying down the initial effort to think about going bard.
Bard or bard?
I am from Val Royaux.
Uh-huh.
I think Galen's taken the other aspect of being a bard.
Oh my.
16.
Okay. So, the chant isn't really something that you hear a lot down in the dwarven tides. This isn't their religion. So the call and response stuff, they don't really know. But you do pick a couple stanzas focusing specifically on dwarven heroism during the Third Blight. And you quell the initial outburst of panic to a dull roar. But you can tell that this is their home. And they know that this isn't going to be a temporary evacuation. And so they still look to the wardens for guidance.
I will add at the end of it, the people of the Tag are more important than the Tag itself. This has been true for every population below and above the earth. Grey Warden Garrick knows how to buy the time necessary to save every life here. Your king was willing to risk himself to try and save this place, and returned because of his perseverance and the aid of the wardens. There is hope. It may be in the halls of Orzammar. It may be on the fields of battle. But you are not helpless, and this is not the end, unless you choose it to be. You are dwarves of Thedas. Fight for your home, and fight for the world.
Okay. So, you managed to drive that home pretty well. And you can tell, they're still not happy, but they're putting up less of a fight. Is there anything that any of you would like to say of the other wardens?
I think Galen was still in Dusktown helping get things prepared.
Okay, so you're helping Felice pack?
Yes.
Okay. And so, what?
Brody and I both did the quotes for Pack.
Pack.
I mean, that's up to you.
Have I not established by now that that's where my mind lives?
Yeah.
I think Galen's a little too bashful to move that fast.
Okay.
You teach me about Valicin, I'll teach you about these, baby.
So, for Galen, the mood in Dust Town is a little different. So, Larrick still delivers the news that they're going to have to evacuate Dust Town. Evacuate the whole tide. And they are still upset. This is their home. They don't want to leave it. But they recognize the necessity a lot quicker than the nobles, probably because it's also easier. And so he also explains the arrangement that he's come to with the king about this new legion, who you are dead as soon as you enlist, but your children will be protected. And it's that your not only that your children will be protected, but that your children will be given a house. So it's essentially going to be a house of orphans, but they'll have a name and they'll have a role and they'll have more status in society than their parents do. And this wins most of them over. And so they start distributing what they have salvaged from the deep roads. And so what happens is after the king delivers his address, or his address, you all leave the assembly and you see a fully armed and armored contingent of these new tattooed dwarves, and they're ready to fight.
Fight
Indeed.
in the deep roads.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, so they accompany you, Garrick, down to the deep roads, but they fully intend to follow you up to the surface and form the dwarven backbone of the army that you're building.
Got it. So don't let these guys die.
Well,
They're
already
pretty
dead.
tough.
They're already dead.
Yeah, essentially. Although, they can probably do a little more fighting before they fall down forever.
Yeah. But they're essentially our Einharar.
All right. So, Garrick, who are you taking down with you into the deep roads?
I am leaving Galen and his girlfriend up top. Well, as top as they get. Top. So I think I should take my hype man. He's good with blowing things up. I think he even likes it, even though he doesn't say so.
Let's see what Christum does to him, and when he gets to blow things up. Speaking of, we have Christum with us, right? We keep forgetting that we have a spirit of wisdom.
You have Chrisdom. You hold on to him all the time. That's what you said.
Okay. I will bitch to Christum about the fact that I seem to be developing wisdom and I don't like it.
So, yeah, you've had this bird. Just carry that bird. So what exactly do you complain?
I seem to be developing a sense of balance and control and boundaries. Maybe not around romance, but politics. What are you doing to me?
I'm not doing anything. You're learning and growing.
Bah humbug.
Are you coming with us to destroy things,
It's
Heroin?
if you want me up here keeping people from killing each other while we get organized, great. If you want me to scout for you, happy to do it, boss. Sergeant, I guess would be the...
Instead of asking you then, I'm going to ask Christum. Would you rather see pretty explosions in a cave-in? Or the events of people figuring out how they're going to try and survive?
Oh, I'm sure there's wisdom to be found in both.
He's not going to give you
But-
guidance. He's not going to tell you what to do, boss. Sergeant.
No, I'm giving the bird a chance to make a decision for itself.
I think you give the order, Sarge.
Does the bird have a response?
The bird says, there's wisdom in both.
This bird is has terrible choices to make and doesn't
I'm
want
but
to
a
do any
humble
of them.
bird, he says.
Yeah, uh-huh.
All right, you're gonna watch things blow up then. Come on, heroine.
All right. Also, Ezra's like, you know, Tristan, you're definitely showing a sense of humor, and I like it.
I don't understand.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Kristen.
No, I really don't.
The funniest man, the funniest person here.
True wisdom is comedy.
And you are hilarious.
All right, so you make your way back down into the deep roads. And I would like detect darkspawn rolls from you, please.
Okay. No. A 10.
Mr. Wynn, can you do better?
That would be an 18 with 5 stunt points.
Okay. So,
You rolled a D36.
I mean, you did get a stunt point.
I did. No, I rolled an 8. So, yeah.
Rarely is it a good sign when you get 1 stunt point.
Something very bad has usually happened in that case.
Hey, I got 1 stun point because I rolled 2 6s and a 1.
Well, yeah. So Harold doing a little bit of the scouting ahead is like,
Thank you, Harold, for scouting for us.
because they are both about to walk headlong into a nest of darkspawn before Harold is like, oh, no! Essentially grabs them both by their collar and yanks them back.
are we doing this entirely alone, or did we have people helping with the setup?
You do have some dwarves with you. Because essentially the dwarves have they figured out how to make lyrium explode, and they don't want topsiders to know about it.
They've learned to weaponize lyrium even further?
Yeah?
We make bombs out of it.
Yeah, that's how you make bombs.
That's bombastic.
They go kaboom.
Well, as long as it's only coming in blue.
Mm-mm.
Any other color lyrium would be crazy.
Absolute insanity.
Oh, Inquisition. The Inquisition. What a show. So yeah, I will stop them and be like, hey, shh. Let's go.
Okay. So, I'm going to need an engineering roll from Garrick.
Oh my.
Okay.
Can we give him the help action?
The dwarves can. Do you have an engineering focus?
Is heraldry, stealth, or deception an engineering focus?
Nope.
Nope, they're doing magic.
That's an
You're
18.
a mathematician.
Okay, well done. So, you managed to figure out where to put the, I guess charges? I don't know what else you call them when they're magic.
Theory booms.
The theory is the same. It's just that the source of the energy is crystals rather than plastic.
All right. Yeah, and you end up not having to run for your lives as they were placed properly.
Congratulations.
But running for our lives is what we do best.
No, that's just you.
And you sense. So you make the charges, you set them, you detonate them. The tunnels collapse, and you feel really great about yourself. And you would expect to hear cheers from the dwarves who have come with you, but you don't. And you turn back to look at them, and they're all alive. Nothing bad has happened, but they're all very somber.
All right. I know that this is putting yourselves even further away from where you came from. But once this blight is over, you can try and take some of it back.
With all due respect, Warden, that's what they say every blight. We've not got a single Tig back yet.
I don't have a human's optimism for the future. All I can tell you is that it's still worth fighting, even if you have to scramble for scraps of your culture in the future.
And how many of
We're
these?
not about to lay down and die and give ourselves over to the stone without a fight.
How many
But
of
we
them
know
are-
how to say goodbye. It's goodbye for Orton Tig.
But not for its people.
Not
How
for
many-
its people.
How many of them are part of this new dead army?
About 6.
About 6. Oh, Garrick's also going to chime in and say, well, before today, you also were considered worthless parts of your society. But now you're going to be able to make sure your children have something. And who knows? Adding you to the mix with nothing left to lose except to get back your place for your family. Maybe you will reclaim that which the rest of your fellows in Ortantai could not.
We can only hope. And you know a platitude when you hear a platitude.
And on that, I'll kind of walk up with my stick, just kind of put my hand on one of their shoulders. Unless this is the blight that wins.
Got a point.
Aye, this could be the blight that ends us all. But that's your job, isn't it? To make that not happen.
It's our job. We just have to be willing to die for it without question.
Well, and that's why we like you so much, Wardens.
You know, last time I heard we like you because you're gonna die, I put itching powder in their pants.
We're not asking you to die, but the blight is.
Oh no, I
You
know.
joined for a reason.
I'm just saying, last person who thought it'd be better if I died got itching powder in their pants.
Well, maybe you'll be the one to survive.
At this rate? Better to think you're dead already and survive than to think you'll live and die.
I don't believe you would think much of it after death.
Depends. How much do you buy into the Chantry's talk?
Well, if everything that we know holds true, I might be lucky and not have to worry about next time round.
Well, Well, don't your spirits go to your fate.
Uh,
Let's just say one lucky warden will never be back.
Oh, well, that's a shame. I
Ever.
suppose as long as the mountains stand, as long as there's stone for us to go back to, we'll always have a home.
worst they can do is kill you. And
Why?
the best you can do is make a future.
Well, worst they can do is infect us with the blight. Then we become corrupted monstrosities infecting our loved ones.
Unless you burn yourselves first.
You all strike me as the type who would die before you let the corruption take you.
Well, that doesn't mean we want it to happen. Any more than you want to die, Mr. Reaching Powder. That being said, we've cried about our feelings enough. Let's head back.
Yeah, we still need to talk to your king a little bit more.
It is good to be able to express your emotions in a healthy way.
Well, we'll not keep you from our king.
Well, thank you for
Oh.
coming down with us. Even if it was to, put even more between you and your past.
Let's go then. So,
Just for the hell of it, as we're going, I will sing a little part of the chant of light as we're walking, and just for
okay.
the 7 times 70 men of stone, immense, rose up from the earth like sleepers waking at the dawn, crossing the land with strides immeasurable, and in the hollows of their footprints, paradise was stamped indelible. We'll just come up with a tune for those verses separate. It probably blasphemous for anybody who actually follows the Church of Andraste, but comes up with a tune for it as we're going. Emphasis on the men of stone.
Is there also a nice little thing that I learned while I was yucking it up with the king's men of a good old dwarven song about their past? I'll
Sure.
try and teach Harold Wynn that too, so that he can sing that instead.
Okay. So, you make it back to Ortontai. Is there anything that Galen wanted to be doing other than canoodling with Felice?
He was helping her pack, not move it the lane.
It's
Pack
probably a little
what?
bit of canoodling.
Pack what?
This is a family show.
Her belongings.
What kind of family would watch this show?
The Adams family.
And I didn't know that you were one of her belongings.
Alright. So, you said wanting to talk to the king.
Well, even after we did all that, we hadn't even talked to him about, hey, by the way, we're looking to get a few more people, part of our little deals that, we've made over the years, Grey Wardens and your lot.
Well,
Are you
you've
suggesting
got...
we can call for volunteers to join the Grey Wardens? Or at least maybe suggestions or recommendations of brave and capable dwarves who might make suitable candidates?
Yeah, maybe.
Well, you've got your pick of the legions.
It's important that they want to they want to do it of their own volition.
Well, we'll put the word out, see who responds. Appreciate you not simply conscripting.
I like to throw it around as a threat, but I'm not really comfortable with putting people through that unless they actually want to.
Plus, we'd rather get
So
willing participants.
that's when the king puts his hand on Harold's shoulder. Oh, elf. Let me give you one piece of advice. Never, never make a threat that you're not willing to see through.
Harold puts his hand on the king's shoulder and says, I don't. Just because I don't like it doesn't mean I won't do it.
Well, your people are quite famous for doing what has to be done. Wardens, I mean, not elves.
That seems like a roast. Out of character. That's a roast. That seems like a roast.
You should think about visiting a few alienages if you think that elves aren't capable of doing what needs to be done.
Oh, that'd fall into the sky.
We're still here, despite everything.
So are the dwarves.
We don't have thags to keep us safe. We live among humans.
Oh, you're
Our
always
walls are
welcome
made-
down here.
Our walls are made of promises from people who are not faithful.
I thought your people were all about faith. Isn't that about your bride of the Maker?
You probably know more about my culture than I do.
I'd never presume.
In some ways, I'm more Orlesian than anything. Didn't pick up their obnoxious accent, though.
I suppose, thank your ancestors for small mercies. Really, maybe that's what'll help you recover your culture. We've kept ours intact by revering our ancestors, not some god who abandoned his creation. Came back for a pretty woman, then left again when she died.
So far.
Well, maybe one day your god will come back to you.
And maybe one day we'll be able to restore your people to their homes in full.
And this is the grant that happens. But, if you don't mind, I've got a evacuation to oversee.
Is there anything we can do to help with that?
Wardens? Nah. I'm sure there's darkspawn to be killed somewhere else.
I'm presuming that you'll be making your way to Orzammar?
We've been in contact with the king there. There'll be space for most of us. The ones... Well, the other ones will send topside. Bolster your numbers.
You know, might I make a suggestion?
I
I
don't think I could stop you.
Technically correct. As desperately as you want to ensure that you can return here, have you thought about putting some nice, thorough traps for every darkspawn that tries to take an inch of this home?
We'll do what we can. But every piece of iron that goes into making a caltrop or a spring, that's a piece of iron that can't go into a dagger or a hammerhead.
But there's a whole bunch of rock around that I'm sure you could figure out how to shift at the right moments if you gave a clever person a little bit of time.
Well, that's what we sent the other one down to do, isn't it?
Well, that's a tunnel. They're gonna come into the tag proper. Do you really want them walking all over your homes without any resistance? I'm just offering a chance for a little bit of vengeance.
I know what you mean. And I know what it all means. I know we'll never see this Tig again. The children won't. Our grandchildren won't. Their grandchildren won't. But we've got to believe that there's something to come back to. We've got to believe that this Tig will remain. We've got to believe that we can go back to Boonamar or Kalsharok or any of the lost Tigs.
That's fair.
So,
Well,
Hope is worth more than a few very inconvenient darkspawn.
even if they don't end up taking back the Tig, is it all right if we take some of your history books topside? Let the people up there know what has happened down here. Make
You'll
sure
have to
your
take-
history doesn't die.
You'll have to take that up with the Shaperate.
Yes, I will.
One last question is, do you have somebody that you would be willing to assign as the point person for... We have a keep. Wisdom's Keep. It's not too far to the west. And it's where we're basing our operations.
Does Dilvin no longer suit?
I wasn't going to presume that your son would be the one you would choose. But he is more than suitable.
Oh, he's not my son. I know better. He's my idiot sister's son. Nah. As long as Delvin suits, he can continue.
I think we can have some space for him set up at the keep.
That's between you and Delvin then.
Think we can... Anybody else? Because I think the king has plenty to do.
I'm ready to move on. We have done what we came here for.
All
Like I
right.
said, aside
Do you have any concerns for
from
the
the
route
shape
to
rate.
Do you have any concerns for the route to Orzammar as far as safety or scouting?
Oh, we've got that well in hand. You do your job, we'll do ours.
Sounds fair. Glad we were able to find you.
Glad I was found. So, is there anything that you would like to accomplish in your last few days on Orton Tig?
More smithing. And,
Or smithing, okay.
and going to the shape rate and seeing if they'll give us some stuff from there so that we can keep a history for topside. You know.
Absolutely not. They will let you copy books, but you don't get the books.
Dr. Scribble. Yeah, okay.
They are super protective of their books and their memories.
Fair enough.
I feel like I know Jurgen has autonomy, but I feel like copying important information into is really a Jurgen skill set.
Unfortunately, I have not been trained in the scribe techniques.
Okay, but you did learn to write, right?
Yes, but my skills are better used other places. Words are powerful, but so is acid.
Plus, he still needs. So is what?
Inspiration for Jurgen.
And we all know Galen's got plenty to keep him busy. I'm going to spend the rest of the time drinking with people,
What?
especially Delvin, and making some friends among some of the dwarven soldiers, especially the Legion of the Dead.
Okay.
Because and anyone who plans on following us back to the keep, I'm definitely making sure we're on good terms.
Okay.
I'm gonna make friends. You guys do real work.
All right.
Especially you, Galen.
So it is a little cute when the two of you emerge from the deep roads. It's about 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the afternoon. The sun is hanging very high in a bright, bright blue sky, and Felice just clings to Galen's arm, just looking up at the sky. It's so big that it goes on forever. And like she's like blinking because she's never been in light this bright.
Well, he'll shield her eyes as best as he can, and he'll encourage her to let go and see what it feels like under the sky.
So she
Gently.
doesn't really want to let go of Galen, but under his suggestion, she sort of like does the balancing trick, and is very unsure of her first steps forward. How do you not fall into all of that blue?
As she looks up, Harold will, with Drill, do like a corkscrew dive, like at an angle by them. Like, what?
Just flexing on the poor dwarf.
Yes, yes. Because
So,
Poor,
being
the
a
poor
little
migrant dwarf.
because I think I've established being a little bit of a shit stirrer is entirely in character.
Garrick will just say, so, we actually have something that helps us swim up there.
I'm king of the world.
You swim up and all that.
Well, our griffins swim it.
You've got griffins.
Oh, yeah. Galen's is actually a true Grey Warden.
I want to see that. But
Galen will glad. Oh,
before you can bring her to the griffin, a runner comes up to you. Oh, goodness, you've come back. Warden Commander Hubble is waiting for you in the pub tent?
That probably was the first thing we should have heard. Let's go.
Alright, so you go to the pub tent where they are still serving mushroom ale and mushroom steak with mushroom gravy.
But no truffle sauce for some reason.
I mean, if you want to pay extra.
I mean, it's truffle sauce.
Tell me the official name of the place is the Truffle Shuffle.
So, you go to the nameless tavern tent. And there is Warden Commander Hubble. You've met him before in Antiva. He is Warden Commander. He's essentially your commanding officer, your boss. He's like, well, Warden's report.
Galen has a girlfriend.
Okay, let's focus.
If that's the best thing that you have to report to me.
So, we found the king.
Was he missing?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, he was missing. We had to go into the deep roads.
And you survived. Good on yous.
We also killed about 50 to 100 darkspawn while we were down there.
Just the ones who had made it out from behind the seal.
Oh, yeah, the
seals
seal's
are
broken.
breaking. All
No,
right,
broken.
that's bad.
We
That's why I
caved in
started with
tunnels,
the-
so it's not going to be quite as quick. But the dwarves are willing to actually let some of their people. So I don't know how much you know about their culture, because I don't know. I didn't know a damn thing before this. But their unwanteds are now going to fight for us. They're still handy with swords.
Right, alright.
We might
That
have
was my next
inadvertently
question.
created. We might inadvertently have created an entire element of a culture to redeem people, and in exchange, they would be an army and fight for against the Darkspawn.
Give me numbers, man.
A few hundred.
Good
We,
start, good start. And I
and
suppose the
they have
dwarves are.
experience fighting Darkspawn.
And depending on how much this king liked the idea, it might spread to the other Taigs.
Honestly, it's definitely spreading to Orzammar because they're evacuating.
Oy, well, the dwarves are losing another kingdom.
At
Well,
least they're going to live to see it to sing songs about their lost home. Which is probably better than a lot of takes have been able to say.
Alright, so. What's your next move?
Maker, could you remind us of the other two options?
Hold on,
So-
hold
go
on,
back
hold on.
to our
Hold up. All right, so we
Reliable-
have. This is out of
we
character,
finished number
obviously.
2.
Yes, so we have convinced leaders of the free marches to Okay, we have called upon the Dwarven kingdoms to honor their treaties and provide soldiers and support for the Blight. Check mark. So now we need to convince leaders of the free marches to unite and lend their strength.
Draw on the strength of Tevinter.
Hold the Orlesian Empire to their treatises to promise aid.
And kill the Archdemon.
Can we just jump straight to killing the Archdemon?
Oh,
I think we can.
oh yeah, and we also have a subquest to get another girlfriend for one of us. Yeah,
Well,
I don't know how.
the dwarven place was not the place to do that. Just because of the whole mage thing. No dwarven mages, so that.
Seems like
we're-
a Tevinter problem.
Yeah, Tevinter would probably be a good place to do that.
So we also have Orlais.
Right.
Let's see. The closest
What's
place
closer?
to us is the the Free Marches is not closer to us.
But is closer to at least the last time we knew about surface exposures in the Blight.
So, you would have to travel overland to get to Orlais. It would take a while. You could get to the coastline quickly and take a ship to the Free Marches. So essentially, it would take about the same amount of time to get to Orlais overland or Free Marches via sea.
If
And Tevinter being the farthest away.
But if we went to the Free Marches, Tevinter would be much closer. After that.
But then wouldn't that be
Yeah.
the same in reverse?
Yeah, so if we wanted to go for convenience, sounds like getting a ship to the Free Marches, then Tevinter, then Orlais. Do we want to leave the Orlesian Empire to the last? Honestly, in terms of priority of likely exposure to Darkspawn, I think Orlais might be the least.
Yeah, Orlais is the furthest away from, Antiva, which is where it started. So feasibly, they're the safest.
Unless the deep roads lead or have an opening from around Orlais that we're not aware of. You know how terribly I'd feel about a whole bunch of Orlesian nobles dying in war? But there are people in the cities that are actually worth keeping alive.
Hmm.
I say Free Marches.
Very well.
March free.
So I guess we're... So how does everybody feel about flying real fast and then taking a ship on water?
I have no opinion either way.
Looking at Galen's girlfriend.
This
What's
is
the
what I
ship?
said about swimming through the sky and then through something else.
So we're gonna
Okay.
take road travel, and then we're gonna take water travel, and then we're gonna walk on the ground with the sky above. Actually, no, we'll still be back to air travel.
All right. So, you've decided to go to the free marches next.
That'll be fine.
Fun. All right. So you go to reclaim your griffins, and Galen's griffin, very happy to see him. Like, you've been away for a week and you come home and your pet is like, oh my God, you're back.
Arrow's not mad at me anymore.
There's still a bond there. The
Harold goes
problem,
reading.
however, is
Yeah.
when the rest of you go to your griffins, and it is clear that the blight sickness has spread to them. And that is where we will leave it for today.
Huh!
Good song choice.
Honestly, at that moment, it's like Harold's like, Galen, what did you do to save your griffin? Knife out.
Holy shit. Well, and Galen will share how he helped Arrow.
Okay, that is a thing to be resolved next week. So, for now, thank you all so much for playing. Thank you to our wonderful audience. Thank you for your points, both benevolent, benevolent, and malevolent. So, this is the Stolen Fires Twitch channel. So, it's a little bit of a light schedule this week. If you enjoy more Dragon Age, come by on Wednesday as I will be streaming Dragon Age 2. We have reached Act 3. Things are about to get weird. I just helped Anders get so weird. If you enjoy tabletop RPGs, sadly, Curse of Strahd is not on this week, neither is Solid Metal, but come by on Friday. We ran the finale for Dune Leviathan last week, and so this week we're just gonna have a just chatting, ask us anything, see how many secrets we can get Eric to reveal about things we missed and hints for season 4 when it happens. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram for more news. And if you're not in the Discord, why not? Come hang out in our Discord. Just one more quick round of goodbyes and when we can see you next on the internet.
Sorry that my griffin made everyone else's griffin sick. You can find me all over the internet. Sam Changeling. You can find me on Etsy at Thornkind. You can find me playing again. No, not playing again. It'll be an Ask Us Anything about Dune in our almost our Dune slot. We're doing it an hour early, right?
Yes, we are. It's going to be starting at 7 o'clock Pacific, 10 o'clock Eastern, because people have lives and jobs. But he might be able to make it for, at the very least, the last hour, so woohoo.
Yeah, so if you want to find out all the things that you've wanted to know about the Dune characters and or our play and or etc., tune in for that. It'll be fun.
And my name is Devin. I have been Gar. You can find Garrick. You can find me online at Sorta Sullied, and next time you'll be able to see me will be on Friday for our Q&A. Where you'll get to hear. Well, no, I won't. I probably won't be that happy. But anyway, you'll get to hear me and other people talk about Dune, which I know a lot of people love. I love it.
Hello, everybody. My name is Steve. You can find me on the Stolen Fires Discord and nowhere else as Voodoo Arcade. My pronouns are he, him, and tonight I played Jurgen, the Tranquil Mage. The next time you can see me will be next Monday for Dragon Age, where I will play Jurgen, the Tranquil Mage. This is the only game I stream.
Hi, and I'm Brody, he, they. You can find me on the Birding Bird app at the Raba1. You can find me on Twitch as Ben Abuya, and everywhere else is Epikoros. But you're not going to find me because I don't exist.
Right. As for me, you know me, you're on my channel. It's Stolen Fires. I'm Stolen Fires everywhere, including the Whale app that for some reason decided to pick a fight with romance writers. And the last time that happened, Georgia turned blue. So, good job,
Wait.
guys.
Whale app?
Boutable.
Oh.
Yes, well, so I don't know if we're gonna get Steve for next season of Dune, but I will say that in between now and the next Dune season, I am going to be running a game in that time slot where you will get to see Steve because starting in mid-March, Blade Runner. So,
Blade Runner
it
in the
should
Middle
be.
Marches?
I'm sorry?
Blade Runner in the Middle Marches?
Oh, Blade Runner in the Ruins of Los Angeles. Uh, and before I forget, you have completed a major quest in your quest log. Everybody take a level.
Do 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 do.
Hooray! But
Dude.
we will handle that off camera. So thanks again, everybody, and we'll see you. I'll see you on Wednesday. The rest of them will see you next week. Good night, everybody.